Hi. This talk is going to be about what nobody told me. It's going to be a little bit about my ad career and all the things that I've been learning as I go forward. And those are the things that, like, a lot of teachers, maybe they told me about it, I didn't listen to them, or they didn't tell me because they didn't know about them. So I hope this helps you guys, because so far it's like, oh, I wish I would have known that, okay? Well, first of all, nobody told me I had to talk about myself. I don't like it. So I'm a senior copywriter. I'm Antonio. I'm from Mexico originally. I moved to New York 6 years ago. I'm terrible at stand-up comedy, so it's okay if you don't laugh. And people say I look like Jon Snow, so I'm embracing it. I got autographs, I got like that kind of stuff. So if you want to make a joke, please do. Finally, I'm allergic to celery. I don't know why I put that, but I'm allergic to celery. Anyhow, back to the talk. What nobody told me. The first thing is anyone can be a creative. I didn't start Miami Ad School when I was young. My background is in business. I went on the marketing side. I was in sales, strategy, marketing positions. I was in that way with a suit. I was bored. I didn't like my life. And suddenly, when I was studying my MBA, one of my teachers told me, "Oh, you can be a creative. There's the copywriter and there's the art director." And I never knew that I could go into advertising because I thought you needed to know how to draw, and I'm terrible at that. So, yeah, that's when I discovered that I can be a creative. So anybody can be a creative. And I started Miami Ad School when I was 25 years old, 26, something like that. So I started on the older side, but here I am, and I'm happy. This is what I like doing every day of my life. So far, so good. Another thing that nobody told me is that you need to have your own creative routine. Something that you do every day to keep your brain fresh, to keep your brain nurtured. I like to take 2 hours every day in the morning. I read all the news that I can. I have a lot of sites that I read, like pop culture. I try to go to the movies at least once a week. I watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of movies. Like, you need to keep yourself relevant into pop culture because this is what you're influencing. If you think that, okay, you're just here in school and then you go out and that's it, you're limiting yourself to your ideas. Like, a lot of my ideas have come from watching a movie or something like, oh, I'm going to do this. And then I write it in my notepad and sometimes I use it. So create your own creative routine, stick to it, and it's going to help you. The next one, it's okay if you don't fit in. I got a question right now. There's like, McCann for some is like their dream agency. Back in Mexico when I was in Miami Ad School, I freelanced at this agency, and I never fit in there. Like, I love their work. I love how the things are done, but I never fit in. And it was so bad that even one of the creative directors told me, it was like, you know what? I don't think you can be a creative. And it actually hurt me. I almost quit Miami Ad School, and it was before I went to my quarter away in New York. So the next quarter, I went to New York. I started at Habas, and everybody started loving my ideas. And at 360i, everybody started loving my ideas. And I got work produced as an intern. I got awards, and I didn't fit into that agency. So even if your dream agency says, oh, I want to work at Droga, I want to work at Whiten & Kennedy, I want to work at McCann, doesn't matter. You might not fit in that, and that's okay. What matters is the work that you want to do, the people around, because those are the ones that you're going to see every day. Okay? This is another one. It's okay having a bad portfolio at first. I didn't have a partner until I was 2 quarters before graduating from Miami Ad School. So my portfolio was not art directed. and I had a really bad portfolio. But that portfolio took me through my first quarters, and then I improved it, and then I learned, and I had to learn how to use Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, like from scratch. I did it, I implemented it, and now I'm not an art director, but still I know how to do stuff. So it's okay if you have bad stuff at first, you're gonna improve. And the thing is that you know that you need to improve. If you think your book is ready right now, I'm gonna tell you it's not. Mine is not ready. I don't like my book, certain parts of it, and I need to change it. I need to keep updating it because that's how it's done. Another thing is like awards are great, but great work is better. Yeah, we all dream about getting on one of our dream accounts like Nike, like Adidas, like, I don't know, like one of those brands that keep winning awards over and over again. But again, those are great. But once you get into the industry, awards feel amazing and everything, but sometimes it's like, okay, we won another award. What's next? What's coming? What's coming? What's coming? Work is more important. And during my professional life, the client that got me the most awards that I have right now, it's a super boring client that everyday basis, it will be like, what? And it's like the Postal Service. The US Postal Service has been the account that every year has given me awards. So it doesn't matter if it's like a Nike, if it's like that. It's you and try to make the work better. Because if the work is good, the awards are gonna come by itself. This is another one that's important. It's okay to have bad ideas. I have terrible ideas. Like 90% of my ideas are bad. And I have done this, by the way. I didn't find footage, but I have done this, by the way. And I've done another thing with knives that I'm not gonna tell, but I've done this. But this is true. It's okay to have bad ideas. Because first of all, if you flush them out, then you get only the good ideas after that. And also, if you get bad ideas, you can make those ideas good. But as long as you don't be embarrassed to have bad ideas. Everybody has bad ideas. Even my boss has bad ideas. Sometimes he says something and we'll look at him as like, that's not gonna work. So don't worry about that. This is one that's like really important. Ideas expire. The piece that won the most awards when I was a student, right now it feels old, it feels weird in my book, if I put it. I don't have it in my book anymore. Because it was an idea for Google Glass, and I cannot use it anymore because Google Glass doesn't exist anymore. So yes, I'm really proud of that idea. That idea is super personal because it was inspired in my grandpa, and it's like something that moves me, but I cannot have it in my book because it already expired. It's gone. So even if it has an award, even if it's like the best campaign you have worked on, if it has expired, then it doesn't belong with you guys. You can do better. You can do more. This is another one that's important. You need to learn to let ideas die. Many times I've been obsessed with like, this works, this works, this works. And advertising is so subjective that you might be seeing something that the other people are not seeing. I have presented so many ideas as like, this is gonna win an award, this is gonna be amazing, this is gonna be groundbreaking, and either the client is not ready to do it, either people are not happy with it, you don't have the budget, you don't have the words, something happens, and then you have to move on. So let it die, move on, go to the next one. You're an unlimited source of ideas. Even if they're bad ones, go back, but you're an unlimited source of ideas, so keep going. This one it's one I wish I had learned before, and I am giving you now. Your name has to be everywhere. Whenever you go to like a hero, whenever you go to a quarter away at the agencies, if you go to an award show, if you go to like an art exhibition, talk to people, network, get your name out of there. Because most of the times, a lot of the work, a lot of the jobs that you're gonna get are gonna be by people that you know. Like don't be afraid talking to people, don't be afraid talking to a creative director, to a CCO, to a company that you really like, just reach out. The worst thing that can happen is they're gonna say no, or they're not gonna reply. But if they reply, you're getting your name out of there. And then when you get your name out, it's easier for them to hire you. And I know you guys, when you graduate, you want that, so do it right now. Start putting your name everywhere. It might get obnoxious, but do it. This is another one. Your book is only as good as your worst piece. It doesn't matter if you have 6 ideas that are amazing, all of them won all the awards, but if you have one that it's meh, that's the one that's representing your book. So be honest, be mindful of the piece that you say, this is not my best piece, honestly, and I need to improve it. Is it up to par to the other ones, yes or no? Because if creative directors look at the best work that you have, then you're great. But if by any chance they click on the one that's like bad, then you're done. They're gonna say, oh, these are all the ideas. You don't have second chances, so make them count. This is another one that I see. I teach portfolio development at New York, so I'm seeing this a lot. Less is more, and less more is better. Less is more. I know that a lot of you guys are asked to create a 360 campaign, a full-fledged campaign about everything, about an idea. And that's great, do it. But don't put a print ad if a print ad doesn't match there. Don't put a radio if the radio doesn't have anything to do. Like, for example, this is one bad idea. If you're selling diapers for old people, are you gonna put that into Snapchat? Because your audience is not on Snapchat. So you need to be smart where to put it, where's the medium that you're using. Unless, when you're doing more, it's better. If you're expanding a campaign, then you're making it, you're blowing it away, and you're making everything great, then by all means. If you find a way to get, in this case, old people to Snapchat, then by all means do it. If you're just expecting, I just need to fill this blank, then it's bad. Okay? There's another one. It's okay not having a personal project, but a personal project can get you a job. There's a lot of things that like we want to put in our book, like, oh, I take pictures, I'm gonna put them online. I read a blog, I do this, do that. That's great. If you have a personal project, if it's a passion project, put it in your book, because it shows that you're doing something outside advertising. But if you're doing it just to fill a blank again, it's not worth it. I've seen Instagrams that is like, oh yes, I have an Instagram that I take pictures of the funny things people write on restaurant signs. Okay, you only have 3 pictures, and you haven't updated it in 2 weeks. So that's not a personal project. You're just filling a blank. So it's okay if you don't have it. Focus on the work. But if you have a personal project, make it feel that it's a personal project. If you paint, show all the paints. Show that you are actually an artist. If you create music, if you play, if you do whatever you want, if you take photographs, fine, put it. But show me that you have a theme, that you have an expectation, and it's not just like, oh, I just like snap, and that's it. This is one that's very important. You only have 5 minutes for everything. You only have 5 minutes to sell your book. You only have 5 minutes to sell your idea to a client. And I'm pretty sure that I lost some of you guys in the first 5 minutes. So if you're not making it count, you're losing a lot of time. Make your book sell yourselves in 5 minutes or less. If I have to go through a book and I have to wait 10 minutes to read only one piece, you're out. Creative directors, my boss, when he has to review books, honestly, he only has 5 minutes for each book. And most of the time, they delegate us to me and my partner. It's like, okay, look at them. Do you like them? Yes or no? We are the ones that have to look into the entire book. But Creative directors are only going to look at 1 or 2 of your pieces and make those count. So you only have 5 minutes to sell yourself. Also, when you're presenting for the guys that that got a brief for me tomorrow, 5 minutes. If you are not able to present your ideas in 5 minutes, then it's work on that. Okay? And another one is pick your battles. Nobody told me to pick my battles first. And I've seen this like, okay, again, you think your idea is great, you think it's amazing, and you're like, no, I want to do it, I want to do it, I want to do it. And in the end, it's not worth it. I've created scripts that like, I thought they were like amazing and everything, and I wanted to fight the client to actually make them how I want them to make. But it was not worth that fight because 1, we didn't have the budget, 2, we didn't have the talent or the time, so I waited. And then my next piece, I finally picked the battle. I was like, no, I believe this. This is going to happen. I believe this is good. This is what you need to do. So learn to pick your battles. One example is a friend working on the Verizon commercials. He was arguing for 1 word in those ads. And those ads are so generic that it doesn't matter. They're not going to win you an award. It's like, no, don't go into that. Like, pick the battle to make an idea that it's great. And that's when you actually want to say, no, 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 I believe in this, and push it. This is another one for your work. You're probably not saying enough. A lot of the times, we create a print ad, we create a TV spot, whatever, and we're not saying what we need to say. Sometimes something is missing, either call to action or what's the reason I need to believe in this brand, etc., etc. Sometimes you're not saying enough. Don't think, when you're thinking about a campaign, think about the whole story of the campaign. If you have a print ad at first, and the print ad has to direct you to another part, and then to a Snapchat, and then to a film, and then blah, 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 and go on, you might not understand it. You have to understand, think about how many times have you guys seen a full campaign? Like everything. Every medium from a campaign. It's really rare that we do that. So every single ad that you create inside that campaign has to say enough. But also, you're probably saying too much. This is especially for copywriters, but also it's going to help for our directors. If you can say something in 4 words and you're using 5, then cut it down. If you can use 2, that's better. If you can use 1, that's even better. So always edit, make it simpler, because again, people are not going to pay attention to you for a lot of time. So you only have them for a little bit. You only have to, okay, 1 word, it's exciting, cool. 2 words, it's exciting. 7 words, I'm starting to be lazy. How many of you guys have read a long copy ad? That's not engaging. But in the end, it's like, if you can reduce it, if you can make it short and sweet, that's great. Most of all, this is the only one that I want you to care. The other ones, you can say, I'm crazy, like I'm a washed old creative, that's cool, I'm only 35, that's cool. But this one is the one that I want you guys to take with you. Being a creative, it's amazing. It's one of the very few jobs that actually pays you to be crazy, to be you. I was on the other side in a boring job that I had to look at spreadsheets all day. Yeah, it was 9 to 5. I made some money, but it was boring. I don't know if I can curse, but it was boring. Okay, it was boring as fuck. Okay? But now, I literally can put my feet up on the desk and think about stuff and doodle at a meeting and just try the thing, and then coming up with stupid shit like cutting watermelons in my belly. And that's amazing. So enjoy it. And I know, like, if you guys are on Fishbowl and everything, there's a lot of like bad karma that you can see into that. Because yeah, it's easy that people say like, oh, this industry is bad and it washes you out. But again, think about this. They're paying you for your fucking ideas. They're paying you to be weird. There's very little industries that do that. So stay weird, enjoy, and hopefully you guys learn more stuff that nobody told me. Thank you.